Right, hello lads and lasses, and welcome back to Boys Down Under, where I am back, hopefully now consistently, because, well, I have graduated and I've got a bit of more time on my hands now. I've still got the last period of exams, which is the HSC here in Australia. They're sort of like the GSCEs or A-levels, I'm not sure what they're called in the UK, but final exams are coming up in a couple of weeks. However, I've got a period now where I am done with school, just have to study, so we're good. I'm back, I promise. No more of this on and off type shit. So, before we go any further and get into the actual video, if you guys do want to help support me, the best way to do so, click the like button, click the subscribe button. Won't ramble on because I don't think I deserve any subscriptions right now with the way I've been going, so allow that. But now, without further ado, let's get into it. So, one of my least favorite things in football are injuries, because I hate to see good players on the sidelines. Now, my most least favorite thing in football is actually this piece of terminology used when describing injuries. It is when a player picks up a knock. A knock. It has to be the most vague, annoying, and absolutely frustrating term ever used to describe an injury. Now, sure, you don't want to give too much away to your opposition, but call it what it is. A cork, a bruising, like a knock. A knock is just far too vague. A knock can mean anything. You could get a knock to your spine and be a paraplegic, for God's sake. Right? Like, it's stupid, okay? And, well, that term has been used to describe an injury, right? A couple of Celtics injuries, on the international break. And, well, that happened to some of our better players, because obviously our best players go on international duty, but it's never good when players pick up knocks, because they could niggle on for the rest of the season. Anyways, we'll begin with our very own Greek freak, Georgios Giakoumakis, who really hasn't played much football so far, surprisingly, this season, but he has picked up, as reported, discomfort in his leg during training and has gone for scans to get the full extent, and now he picked up a knock in training, which led to this discomfort. So you see, this is even vaguer. Discomfort and a knock. Put those two together and you've got, it's like two negatives make a positive, except in maths. But in this case, two negatives have just made one super negative. It's just ridiculous. So look, he has gone for scans to see the full extent, and the nature of them we don't know yet. I'm sure that will be released overnight, but it seems unlikely GG will feature again internationally for Greece during this break. I hope he does return to Glasgow as soon as possible, so he is under the care of the Celtic doctors. Nothing against the Greek doctors, but he does spend 99% of the season at Celtic, so that is what I am hoping for. Regardless, it would be a shame to see GG get injured, because if Kyogo's injured, I don't want to play Dyson Maeda through the middle. So I'm hoping GG is still fit and ready to go, because, he has class, he has quality, and once he has picked up that form, nothing can stop him. He's missed a couple sitters so far early this season, but, that has come with with lack of game time and a lack of clinicality. We could say it isn't a word at all, clinicality, but it sounds nice and it rolls off the tongue. Anyways, moving on to the second lad who has picked up a bit of a knock during Nations League football is Lee Alabada. Now, he was forced off with, dare I say it, I'm not going to say it again, the K word. Now, he was playing for Israel against Albania. That was his final match for Israel, and according to reports, he was set to drop down to the Israel under-21s team. Not because of a lack of form, but more because of an increase in form, and he can be utilised to help qualify them for the under-21s Euros. Unfortunately, though, that does seem unlikely. However, positive signs for Liel. He doesn't need scans, apparently, and he was seen walking after the match against Albania, so hopefully he won't miss any time, but it is still a bit concerning that he was forced off the pitch and he wasn't able to run it off. However, that could be just seen as a precaution thing rather than a proper injury thing. I don't really know, and I apologize just quickly. There is a big lawnmower going off. My dad is cutting the grass, so apologies if you do catch a bit of that. Now, time will tell if Leo Labada is injured. That is awfully loud. Wasn't that loud earlier anyways, but that's 2. Now, could it be 3? Yes, it very well could, because David Turnbull. Now, we left him to last because he picked up his injury a couple of days ago, so we're a bit late to this, but as I'm sure all of you know already. Regarding that though, he was dropped from the Scotland squad, of course, who has been on fire right now, up Scotland. So he has been dropped. He returned back to Lennoxtown and with a knee injury apparently. So he was nursing that from the St. Mirren game. Now, how long will David Turnbull be out for? You know, I sound like a broken record, but it is only time will tell how long he is out for. With a knee injury, however, if it's forced him out of the squad, I'm gonna say at least 2 weeks off the sideline. That's a bold prediction. I don't expect him to be in action against Motherwell at all, to be honest with you. Even if he wasn't injured, I think you'd still see him on the bench, but 2 weeks. Knee injuries have to be taken very seriously. It is the main joint, that the prime joint in the leg, so literally everything occurs from that joint. So hopefully it's nothing too serious for David Turnbull. He's great player to have in the squad. While he did have an off day against St. Mirren, it wasn't the end of the world because everyone had an off day there. Now, speaking on the Motherwell game coming up, preparations have begun. In fact, the redeeming match, some would call it, back home at Celtic Park, where a result is absolutely crucially necessary. But, you know, I could have said that again about the St. Mirren game. A result was crucial there, but, you know, it didn't seem as crucial in the end because the boys didn't play like it was a crucial win at all. So, with that, however, Ange has returned very swiftly from his tour down under. You know, he did the media rounds down here and whatnot. I probably should have covered it a bit more than I did, but poor for me again. Regardless, though, he has got the ambition to right the wrongs of what was a awful trip to Paisley, as we're all aware. Now, will we get a result against Motherwell on the weekend? You know, it is likely we will. You know, we do need to redeem ourselves. We can't be dropping 3 more points again, especially with Rangers. You know, they have every opportunity if we drop 3 more points to take first place. So that is very crucial, but still, knowing Ange, knowing the players, they will not let us lose 2 games in a row. He will be on them this week 110%. He will be ripping into them because he doesn't suffice for anything other than the best. Now, speaking of Ange and rambling on about him, of course, there have been slight rumours that the board, that high officials at Celtic are trying to tie him down to a proper multi-year contract with a release clause inserted. Now, as we know, he is on a rolling contract, so that is a 1-year deal that reinstates itself, re-signs itself at the end of every season. So technically he is on a 1-year deal, but it's an infinite 1-year deal for that matter. But with the wake-up call that was Premier League interest for Ange, the board want to lock him in a multi-year deal and put a release clause in that as well. So if he is sought out mid-season, we do receive a profit from that. Now, while we shouldn't be perceiving Ange as a money-making scheme, at the end of the day, if we are going to lose a manager to a bigger fish in the Premier League like that, we do deserve a bit of compensation, in my personal opinion, right? And, you know, at the same time, a big club will come calling. We know that's a fact. I personally hope when Ange leaves, if he does leave, you know, he could stay at Celtic for the rest of his career, optimistically, but when he does leave, I do hope it is at the end of the season. I do hope he gives us ample warning, and I hope he leaves on good terms, because that is the way it should be done, and not mid-season to Leicester City. Now, is right now the best time to do so? Personally, I don't think so. Rather, maybe during the World Cup would be the best time to try and get these talks going on. But then again, during the World Cup and just beforehand, we have got the Sydney Super Cup to look forward to, which I am absolutely G'd up about. I cannot wait for that. Celtic versus Sydney FC, Celtic versus Liverpool, Celtic versus Everton, with Ange obviously being the Liverpool fan he is. Cannot wait for that. Should be amazing. He's got a real ambition to beat Everton, so I am looking forward for that. But that is all from me, so hopefully you guys did enjoy this little return video. If you did enjoy it, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, leave in the comments below your thoughts on the injury updates. Also, what do you think about giving Ange a long-term contract, or are you happy to keep him on the 1-year rolling deal? Let me know, and until next time, hail, hail.